Hello and welcome.
Today, we have interesting stories including one about entitled parents who tried to give their daughter's wedding inheritance to a stranger and got delay with sit back, relax and enjoy. Am I the idiot for choosing to go on a trip with my girlfriend instead of taking care of my struggling brother's son?
For context, my 24 male brother, Luke, 31M, his wife, Emma, 28F, and their son, Kyle, 4 meters, moved to my city last year because Emma got a new job.
They would occasionally ask me to watch Kyle because I work from home with very flexible hours. I personally do not like kids at all, but I was happy to do it at the time because I wanted to help them. It was not that often, maybe once or twice every 2 weeks, and Kyle was very well behaved. Now the issue started near the end of last year when Luke decided to change careers. He was previously working remotely as well. His new job required him to go to work a lot more often and make substantially less money. This left them depending on me more and more to take care of Kyle. It went from once or twice every 2 weeks to around 3 days out of the week. To make matters worse, Kyle's behavior changed drastically.
To be completely honest, I can barely stand the kid anymore, constantly running around and screaming while I'm trying to work and just overall being a little crap. My son-in-law Emma was over the other day picking up Kyle and made some comments about getting rid of some of the dangerous furniture in my house, like tables with glass edges and stuff, so that my home is safer for their son, and made a joke about baby-proofing my house because they're planning to have a daughter. This pissed me off, but I didn't say anything. The situation hit a breaking point last Friday when I was talking about the 1.5-week-long trip I was going on with my girlfriend on the 15th. Me and my girlfriend like to travel somewhere nice at least once a month. We could not the past couple months because of Kyle, but I promised my girlfriend we would go somewhere exotic for Valentine's. Upon hearing this, they got pretty mad, saying who was gonna take care of Kyle, that I need to stop these childish trips, and that I need to take more responsibility because I'm an uncle now.
I am not gonna lie, after hearing this I effing snapped. I said that their demon child isn't my responsibility, and I'm not just gonna give up my life because they messed without a condom.
It got pretty obscene from there and some horrible things were said.
They left and we are no longer on speaking terms. My parents and Emma's parents are on their side and extremely angry at me for refusing to pull my weight. My parents said that this is my duty and I should be sacrificing everything to help them.
It's honestly got me really down, and I've cried my eyes pretty much every day since seeing those messages from my family.
I'm starting to wonder if I really should be taking more responsibility.
Am I the idiot for choosing my trips over my brother and nephew? Update. Am I the idiot for choosing to go on a trip with my girlfriend instead of taking care of my struggling brother's son?
Thank you everyone for the comments. After reading through for about an hour, it kinda helped me realize how toxic my relationship is with my family.
As many of you mentioned, yes, my brother is the golden child of the family, and thinking about it now, that favoritism is the main reason I wanted to move away from them so badly in the first place. I had a talk with my brother and my son-in-law where I apologized for calling their child a demon and for the condom remark.
They accepted my apology, but they did not apologize to me.
Apparently ours and my son-in-law's parents were not just telling them but encouraging them to use me for help the whole time.
I told them how exhausted and frustrated I was and how much this whole crap show has hurt me, and that I would not be watching Kyle anymore, period, and that they need to figure something else out.
They did not take it well, and my son-in-law started yelling again, and after some arguing my son-in-law said that if I would not watch Kyle, the least I could do is pay for his daycare and help with some of our other expenses since I have the money to zip off to a different country every month. I was honestly appalled.
I would not have minded to help them out financially, but the tone of her voice as she said it was just infuriating.
The only thing they heard was that I would not continue helping them. They didn't give a crap about anything else I said.
I just got up and left their house without saying a word. I wanted to leave before I completely exploded again. 10 minutes after I left, my phone started buzzing with them and my parents, and I just put it on DND. I read a lot of comments saying I should go no contact, and I really did not want to have to do that, but they are very clearly not interested in respecting me as a human being, so that's it.
I will not be speaking to my family until they want to genuinely apologize to me. Thanks, guys. Second story.
My dad bought his perfect daughter for $27/HR. On the bright side, I'm free.
My dad is a well-known psychiatrist who relies on older, paper-based methods to keep his patients' files organized. As a result, he has hired secretaries over the years to help him manage the volume of his work. After working full 8-hour days, he will work for another several hours to complete notes and prepare letters in lieu of docs and emails. For the past 10 years, he has been working closely with his secretary Lana, and this has brought them exceedingly close. My dad has always lamented his children. Though he forms these comments as jokes, he will bemoan the fact he has no sons. No one listens to him. No one does what he wants. No one does the chores corrects. His children are brats that ask him for everything, so don't ask him for nothing. When he saw my interest in computer science, help in creating PowerPoints for him, retrieving docs, organizing, etc., but once it became apparent I did not want to do so for free, he decided to turn to Lana to do these tasks. I'm not sure what she was doing before, truthfully. He is very much the person who will conveniently forget a person's existence should they not have some sort of value to them. We drifted apart. He continued to complain. I thought this was a normal family dynamic.
I went to college.
Lana had a son, and in my father's eyes it made her irreplaceable. Finally, a male in the house he could dote on.
I loved her son, he was a happy baby, but it made Lana bolder.
I was sent home to live with my parents during the pandemic and wanted to return. She attempted to persuade me it was too expensive for my parents, to the point where I questioned Director Eckley whether I should continue my education.
I'm grateful to have ignored her.
My dad admitted to me he did not want to retire due to the fact he was worried Lana would not find a job that would pay as much for her skills as he did. He asked me, "Do you want to know how much I pay her?"
$27/HR.
It stuck with me. I wasn't sure why until I realized later on the price it genuinely symbolized. $27/her to have a daughter already raised for you, already married and a stable career, the convenience of it fitting my father in every essence of the idea.
Raising his own children was too difficult. We were provided to college-age nannies to hush us and herd us away from his office whilst he played with model trains. The emotional toll of listening to your crying child was too much. Hire a doctor weeks later to poke the kid until they say something that can be diagnosed and drugged. Attempting to hold serious discussions was too much. Print off a magazine article and toss it at the kid's door and hope they read it but don't actually engage. The burden of merely teaching children why basic hygiene was important was lost to the man, because to a doctor who worked with children, to ask, why, was equivalent to questioning his authority.
Truth be told, if he wanted a daughter, he already had one for free. But it was more convenient to simply buy another one already, pre-made. Writing this has put me more at peace with the strangeness of it all, but hey, I'm free, in more ways than one now, I hope.
The third story. I, 16F, grew up without a father.
For a long time it was just me and my mom.
Last year my mom got married to my stepdad Brad. Brad has 2 kids, Tessa, F26, and Jake, M18. My dad passed away shortly after I was born, leaving my mom in mountains of debt.
The one thing she refused to sell was her wedding dress.
She always talked about how it was her dream for me to get married wearing her dress, or at least her veil. It's a gorgeous simple white dress with a long lace veil. My dad had the dress handmade and designed for my mom before their wedding. When my mom remarried, she still refused to sell the dress and got a new dress for her wedding to Brad. She always talks about that dress being mine. Tessa got engaged last week. She was so excited to show off her ring and talk about her wedding plans. Tessa knows how much the dress means to me, so while talking about her wedding with my mom and Brad,
she threw out the idea of wearing the dress my mom saved for me at her wedding cause. It'll save us so much money. My mom brought up the fact that she wasn't comfortable with that since she was saving the dress for me. But Brad said my mom should agree since she now has 2 wedding dresses and I can wear the other one. Tessa also pointed out that the dress would need so many alterations to even fit me since I'm much shorter than my mom and I'm not as thin as my mom.
Tessa also said it would be years before I'd need it, so it wasn't gonna be an issue. My mom was on the fence about it, but Brad was all for it and pulled the dress out of storage and handed it to Tessa.
I freaked out and grabbed the dress out of her hands.
I told her she wasn't allowed to wear my mom's dress and that she can get her own mom's dress or buy her own, but she wasn't allowed to wear the dress my mom is saving for me. I locked myself and the dress in my room.
All day my mom has been texting me and coming to the door asking me to come out and talk to her and Brad.
Brad has been calling me spoiled and selfish, saying that I'm acting like a huge brat. I just can't let some stranger wear the only thing of my dad I have left. I feel bad.
Tessa is really upset. She's been crying and texting me asking me to apologize and give her the dress back. I can't tell if I'm in the wrong. Brad and Tessa think I'm being an ass, but my stepbrother and friends agree that I should stand my ground.
The reply. Not the a-hole. She is trying to pull a power move. Sneak the dress out to someone you can trust to hold onto it for you.
Your mum needs to take the lead here and tell them no.
Shut the argument down. If she falters, why are you prioritizing her want of a free dress over the sentimental value it holds to me? If you give her the dress, I am telling you this will permanently damage our relationship, as you will be saying her wants are more important than my feelings. She has 2 other dress options. There will be no coming back from this. This is the memory of my father. The way I know he can be there for my wedding. You are risking this to satisfy the tantrum of an adult who can take another dress or buy her own.
The 4th story.
I am being pressured to give money to a child that's legally mine and I don't want to.
Small detail before I begin the story. I'm from Europe. The system in here is a bit different than in USA, and sorry for grammatical errors in advance.
I, 46M.L., have 4 children. 3 are biologically mine. 1 is my wife, a fair baby. The oldest one is Olivia, 26, twins James and Henry are 22, and the youngest Emma is currently 17. I discovered that Emma wasn't mine about 2 to 3 months after the birth. From the first time I have seen her we didn't look anything alike and I was quite suspicious, but I ignored it for time being.
I just didn't think that my ex would cheat on me, and I just hoped that I was just imaging things. After 2 months I decided to do a paternity test, and just to be sure if our baby wasn't mixed up I did one for my wife as well. The results arrived after few weeks, and not surprisingly the kid isn't mine and there was no baby mix-up. I filed for divorce shortly after. The divorce was long, expensive and ugly, but at the end I got 50/50 custody for twins and Olivia. As for the youngest one I had to pay child support. I tried to fight it with evidence that the kid wasn't mine, but the court verdict was that she was legally mine, so I had to pay it, unless the father for the youngest one would show up and take responsibility.
My ex absolutely refused to tell anyone who the father was and claimed it was just a few night stands and doesn't know who the guy is. As a result, I'm stuck paying child support for 18 years. I told my ex that without child support she wouldn't receive anything else from me, and I won't be a father for Emma and I don't want to see her.
After divorce was finalized I moved to different city. I just wanted a fresh start and it was difficult, but everything worked out except for dating. I tried learning to trust again, but it was extremely difficult, and at the end after many failed relationships I ended up single. The main issue was I couldn't trust anyone except for my kids and family. That mainly destroyed every single relationship.
I tried therapy, but that led basically to nowhere. After few years, Olivia, when she was 14, she got in a huge fight with my ex and decided to live with me.
The fight with mother happened because she wanted to take Olivia money that she was saving.
As a result, Olivia wanted to stay away from her mother and she decided to live with me until she was 20. Here is the part where the problem begins. For my children I was saving money and each got 65,000 euros after they finished school.
I tried to teach them to not waste money and invest, but at the end it was up to them.
Fortunately, they invested the money smartly and are currently living independently. But the problem started when my ex started hinting about Emma and when will she receive money like her other siblings. At first, I thought she was joking and jokingly said when her real father will appear. She got extremely angry and started yelling about how bad a father I'm and that joke was inappropriate. I got angry myself and said that she should have thought about that before cheating, and I already paid not for my child almost 18 years. At the end I blocked her number and went with my day.
At the evening, Emma called me and asked why she won't receive anything. I politely said that she knows that she isn't my child. She got angry, yelled that this wasn't fair, and hang up.
My ex keeps calling with different numbers and keep yelling what a bad person I'm. I can afford it. Obviously, it would leave a dent in my savings, but at the same time, I don't want to do it.
I with Emma never had a relationship. Maybe we would speak 2 or 3 times a year.
At the same time, I feel guilty for excluding and punishing her for what my ex did.